Hello there, and welcome to another Starfield ship review. In today's review, we're going to be looking at the Stroud-Eklund Galileo, or in my case, the Galileo 3. So the number after the name is the tier of the vessel. The higher the number, the better the base stats of the vessel. So for instance, this tier 3 version comes with an A-class reactor with 26 power, whereas the tier 2 version might only have 22 power, and the tier 1 can only have 18 power. Aside from that, the tiers will be exactly the same aesthetically. So yeah, let's get into it. As I was saying, it's a Stroud-Eklund vessel. It's a pretty unique looking vessel. Its kind of main features are these kind of winglets, and then those big fuel tanks in the center that give it a large amount of fuel. Now, it has quite a lot of weapons on the vessel, but to me, it feels like a more of an exploration vessel than anything else, just because it has like a lot of windows. Um, and yeah, just the big fuel tanks kind of make me think like, oh, it's meant to, go far. So stat wise, it's got a fuel of 1100, which is really, really good. Like that amount of fuel is like insane. You definitely won't run out of fuel in this thing. You can probably make like 7 or 8 jumps in one go. Its hull is kind of low at 685. I mean, it's not too bad, but for an A class, it's acceptable. But if you were kind of doing some heavier combat, it's probably not the best. Cargo capacity is only 200, which again is it's kind of low. That's you're basically only getting cargo from the cockpit. Like I was saying about the reactor, it's A class with 26 power, not too bad. Now we could obviously improve upon that. We could get it up to 33 with an A class, but still, it's not bad. Crew of 4, which I believe is coming straight from the cockpit, so not a lot of crew. But then that's kind of the cap off point for these like A class vessels. Even with max perks, I think you can only get about 4 or 5. It's got a jump range of 28 light years, which is really, really good. 2 off max, which I'm kind of interested as to why they didn't go with one that would give it max. Because it's not exactly a heavy vessel, and aside from the fuel tanks, so it's just weird that they didn't give it more. It's got 600 shields, which isn't too bad. Like, obviously you can increase that if you wanted to, but I probably would recommend it just because you can get up to maybe 800-900. And it's got 3 sets of weapons. It's got particle weapons, ballistic weapons, and missiles. So the particles and ballistics are mounted there inside the winglets. We've got the 2 particles on the bottom and the ballistics on the top. And then we've got the missile in the middle. Not bad weapon configuration. One weird thing to note, I don't know if it's an oversight from Bethesda, but if you notice the engines on the backs, we've got 2 of the same engines. They're the Slayton Aerospace engines. But one of them is in a different position. See how the one on the left is kind of set in that sort of top with the slope to the left, whereas that one on the right is actually set up in a way that's supposed to go under the left one, so that's kind of weird. Anyway, the price of this vessel for me is 190,888. Now, your price will vary depending on the perks you have. So, for instance, if you're buying a tier 1 version, it'll be substantially cheaper, probably like 100k, maybe a little bit more. And obviously, if you're buying the tier 2 version without perks, probably like 250k. But anyway, let's get into it. So I bought this vessel from Havershaw. We are at the Stroud-Eklund Star Yard. Here it is here. This is in the Narian system over here. And then there's Alpha Centauri. Now you can also probably get a Neon in Volai in the Stroud-Eklund shop. But yeah, it's a pretty common vessel. You can kind of get it in a fair few places. I would check this Star Yard first. If it's not here, check Volai, and if it's not there, just go to Seoul, land on Mercury, wait 24 hours in the ship, and then that will reset the vendors, and then you can come back and just try again. Anyway, we're going to go to our usual spot to take some screenshots and look around. Alright, so we are in the usual spot. As you can see, we've got a little side view of it. You can see Sam in the bottom right trying to run into the ship. It's a very unique design. I quite like the main body of the vessel being separated by those big tanks. It's a very cool. It kind of reminds me of the when you think of like certain sci-fi, the sci-fi kind of trope for like your fighters, they always tend to kind of have that design where they've got the main body in the middle and then offset on each side or like little wings. Anyway, we're gonna hop in as I try to not break my legs. So entryway through the back. You got a Stroud Eklund entryway. It's pretty nice. There's a look at the engine. Let me show you again. See, that engine's like more square, and you can even see it has that little section there on the left that's meant to line up with this one. So yeah, a bit of an oversight by Bethesda. I'm assuming that's not meant to be the way it is. But anyway, in we go. Nice, spacious entryway. We have a door, which is quite nice. I believe there's only 2 levels on this ship, which is, again, quite cool. So immediately we have a 1x1 companionway with 2 windows, which is really, really cool. This is kind of why I feel like it's like a kind of an exploration vessel, because it's got a lot of windows, although its weaponry is quite confident, so it kind of be like a combat exploration vessel, which seems a bit counterproductive. And then next we have, okay, we have a science lab here, and oh, there's Cora, nice. So again, kind of reinforces the idea to me that this is a science vessel primarily, or an exploration vessel. We got a research lab, we have a medical station there. Hello, Cora. Pharmaceutical lab there. A lot of kind of doodads for stuff. She's trying to figure out what that is. I believe that's the thing for spinning blood. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, this is a nice tap. And then across the other side here we have another 1x1. This is a storage room. I think they're both storage rooms, but it's just the doors there kind of remove them. Got some more views here. Really, really nice. Kind of surprised why they didn't put a door back here, but it is what it is. And then we go up to the next level. And then we have another doors here, or another window here, another 1x1 storage room. Very nice, a lot of nice views. And then we have the docking port up above. Another view there, you can see the wonky engine. And then we go through this door, and we have an engine room. Okay, interesting. Don't know if I'd necessarily go with an engine room on this ship like this, just because we're kind of limited for space somewhat. You know, it's not bad. Some people might like it. We drop down here. We have, we have living quarters, I believe. Could be an all-in-one berth. Who knows? We'll find out when we do a teardown. You got a working galley there. As you can see, it's a bit finicky. For some reason, Bethesda's like, hey, you got to click this pixel here to get it working. I don't know why they did that. I feel like when this game gets like mods, because it already has mods on Xbox. When it gets mods on console, I'll definitely download the unofficial patch that most Bethesda games have. Hopefully it fixes that. Then we have a little set of double beds there. Pretty nice. Not very well lit up, this area. And we've also have a toilet. You can poop and then back up. And then we have the we have the bridge here. Yeah, not a lot to this ship. Pretty nice though. I kind of feel like it's like a decent size vessel. Like, you've got a couple of options with, like, you know, rooms, but you don't have too much. One thing I don't like with a lot of some of the ships with the bigger ones is they have these kind of unnecessary, like, you go down a ladder just for a 1x1 room. It's like, there's no point for that room. Anyway. So yeah, we got a really nice bridge here. Got the pilot seat there. Got a good view there. Stroud Eklund to make really good bridges. And then we've got the chair, co-pilot there. And your navigator there. And then we've got 2 seats here for your extra crew. So if you want weapons officers, or they could be your science officers. We're going to take it off, see how it performs. And yeah. That engine would bug me though, if I was flying third person. I don't know how, like, Bethesda, what did you do? Okay, so just looking at the power. I have a perk that increases my power by 5, so for the sake of this review, we're not going to be using that 5 power. But it looks like we have almost enough power to rock the weaponry and everything. We're missing 1 for the missile, which isn't a huge issue. With missiles, I feel like you don't really... Oh, no, we do. No, we don't. I'm blind. So we're going to do a quick tap on the weapons. Particle weapons there. I quite like these style of particle weapons. They look really cool. Ballistic weapons mounted above the particle weapons, and then we've got the missiles. Even with 2 pips in the missile, we have a lot of firepower. Quick speed test, and should be 150. Yeah, 150 because they're using A-class engines. Boost speed of Okay. Speed of 600. That's really good. Nice. Quick agility test. Pitch. Oh yeah, that's fast. That's really fast. I really like that. And then a yaw. Again, yaw is really fast. And then roll. Roll's not too bad. See, even though it is like it's... I would say it's, given its name and just the look of it, I feel like it's an exploration vessel, but its agility and its kind of speed makes me think it would also be quite a good combat vessel. So we're going to head down to the surface now and do a teardown. Alright, so here we are on the teardown. So we only have 2 sections of this vessel, which is kind of interesting. Most vessels, even the smaller ones, kind of have 3, but again, not a problem. So over here in the middle, or on the top, we have the Viking CP100 cockpit from Stroud Eklund. It's a 200 cargo, 5 hull, and 4 crew station. That's where your crew is coming from. Behind that, we have the Stroud engineering bay, 1x1, or 3x1. And then behind that, the back, we have the Stroud companionway 1x1 with a Connect Pro Docker top. Now for weaponry, on the top of the cockpit, mounted on a Tayo equipment plate, we have the Atlatl 280A, so 280A, sorry, missile launcher by Lightsite. A-class, 4,800 range, 1 fire rate, 86.09 hull and shield damage, and 3 power. Not a bad missile launcher. This is, I believe, the best A-class missile launcher. The Atlatls are pretty good missile launchers. I'm not a huge fan of missile launchers. Now on to the next here for the shield generator. We have this Bastille S83 shield generator from Nautilus, A-class, 6 power, 600 shield. It's not bad. Now obviously we can do better with the shields. I haven't really messed around with the that version of the shield generator, just because I believe this is like a Freestar Collective shield generator. But here we have the kind of the usual go-to, the 60S Protector shield generator from Dogstar, A-class. Uses 8 power, an extra 2 power, but you get an extra 210 shield. And you also get the same regenerate, which isn't too bad. So the main difference is this is about 12k without perks, and it requires Starship Design 3. This is about 20k with perks, without perks, and it's Starship Design 4. So it might be kind of hard to get, depending on your level, but yeah, it's not too bad. Then we have the R4000 Alpha Grav Drive from Relodyne, A-class, 9 power. 27 grab jump thrusts give us 28 light years, which isn't bad. I'm going to see if we can improve that slightly. I don't think we can, though. Can we? No, we can't, which is kind of a bit of a letdown. I think it's these tanks. Like if we remove these tanks, we get a little bit more. We might have to look at that in a minute. And then across here we have the 154mm toroidal reactor from Dogstar, A-class, 26 power. Not a bad reactor, but as always, you know I'm going to recommend my favorite A-class reactor, which is also the best. The Spheromac. Now, the main difference between this one and that one is they're both A-class, obviously. You get an extra 7 power with this one, but it's kind of a bit more expensive. It's going to be like 10k more expensive, so it's about probably like 38k without perks, and it requires Starship Design 4, whereas this one's only like 26k without perks, and it's Starship Design 3. So again, kind of requires a bit of rank investment or perk investments, but not too bad. And then for the engines, so we have 2 of these are the exact same engine, but for some reason they're flipped. So they're A-class, 2 power. They're SA 4330 engines from Slayton Aerospace. They give 15,240 engine thrust and 3,220 maneuvering thrust. So they're not bad engines. When we do the upgrade path, I'll look to getting different engines just because, yeah. Then for the fuel tanks, we do these big 500T helium-3 tanks from Ballistic Solutions, 550 each, which isn't too bad. And then for the aesthetic pieces, we have 2 of these Shroud Cap A. We have a starboard foretop and then a port foretop here. We also have you can just see it there underneath it. We have the equipment plate from Tayo. We have 2 of these Shroud Cowling, 1 LBPT, 1 on each side. Then we have 2 of these Shroud engine mounts, there and there. And then we have some some portholes there, porthole that side, and a porthole that side. And the bottom of the vessel, we have the Shroud all-in-one berth 2x1A. We have the Shroud Science Lab 2x1. We have 2 Shroud storerooms here, 1x1. And then we have the Stroud Stability Pro landing bit, one by one. And for the weapons mounted on these Horizon weapon mounts, we have 2 Dangan W cannons from Shinigami mount on the top. They're A-class, 1200 range, 3.49 fire rate, 22 hull damage, and 3 power. And then on the bottom, we have Disruptor 3310A auto proton beams from Horizon Defense, A-class, 4200 range, 6.65 fire rate, and 13 hull and shield damage with 4 power. I quite like these Disruptor beams, although they're a bit power heavy. And then I think that's it. So aesthetic pieces we have, we'll start in the middle here. Oh, actually, we'll do the landing gear first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ACU Lander 11 landing gear, giving 2 thrust each. And then for the structure, we have a Stroud braking engine here. We have 2 of these Stroud nose cap. We got starboard 4 and a port 4. We've got 2 of these Horizon weapon mounts here, like so. We have 2 of these Stroud engine mounts there and there. And then we have 4 of these portholes. We have 1 there, and then to the other side, like there. So yeah, let's put it back together and do some potential upgrades. So, as always, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get us a better reactor and a better shield. So we're going to slap this bad boy in there, like so. Also, I'm just going to flip this, even though we're probably going to get rid of these engines in a minute. I'm going to show you that's what it's supposed to look like. And then for the shield, we're going to go with this sort of shield. Now, the thing is with this vessel is you can kind of kit it whatever way you want, but I'm going to kit it like an exploration vessel, just given the fact that, well, it is an exploration vessel. So we're going to remove the weapons for now, just because we're going to have weapons, because you need weapons on a vessel like this, but we're going to, yeah. Now, the first thing I would probably recommend doing, we'll work on the engines first. So these engines aren't bad by any stretch of the imagination. Why did the mobility drop? Oh, it's because the reactor is a bit heavy. I was going to say, did me fixing that engine make the mobility go up? So some of the alternative engines. Now, we could definitely add some extra engines here, potentially. So some of these, we could stop some of these on the bottoms. That would give us our mobility a little bit, but it's going to increase our... What sort of... Is that the kind of the main A-class engines we have? Oh, sorry, I hit my mic. Apologies. So that's potentially... See, what we could do is we could go the route of using the 3015s to give us more speed. But maybe, potentially, we'll see what they look like. Yeah, they actually look, they kind of look better, slightly. Put one of these here, put another one here, and then potentially we could put like a third one there. We'll see for the moment. That's not too bad. Now, obviously, our jump range is dropping. So what I'm thinking of now... I'm thinking of getting rid of these just because they increase the weight a fair bit, and we're going to see if we can work on... See, the thing is, though, this is kind of the main style of the vessel, so maybe keeping them... Let me see. See, we could go... What other fuel tanks do we have? So we don't have really any... These are kind of the bigger ones. These are 550. Whoops. Okay, so because see what I was thinking you could do is you could basically pull this out like so. We could make use of some structural pieces, like say these bracers, and you could like slap. Oh no! Come on! What? No! Damn it! And then you could like slap them like, say like there. And there, although that doesn't snap as nice as you would like it. Yeah, they give it like a bit of a... Yeah, I think we'll keep these engines for now, just because. Go back in their engines. Back in you go. We could actually potentially lower them. And we'll lower them. Just because I feel like that looks a little better. And then what about adding them braces potentially? Maybe. Yeah, I like the idea of like them being braced. So we're gonna just see what it looks like if we put these braces here and here, and then we're gonna snap this back in the bottom. I'm gonna flip it like so, and then you just grab it and put it back. It's not too bad. I think it. It's a little bit of clipping. You know, I'm gonna go with it for now. Obviously, if you don't like it, you don't have to put it on. This is all just kind of like a suggestion. So I'm gonna put them there just because I feel like it if we were to color it, we'll color it at the end. And we're just gonna snap these back. If you don't want to know how to do this, you just basically do the flip button and then not that one. And there we go, perfect. Gives a little bit more. I feel like it's more structurally sound. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few more windows. So we're going to, at the back here, we're going to put some windows. I'm going to put a window there, another window there. Just because I feel like it's nice having some windows. And then, now, I'm going to change this here, this engineering bay. What can we change? See, we can only change it to an all-in-one berth. So what I'm going to do is, right, I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to remove this here. Now, if you were in the Stroud-Eklund area, which I am not currently, I would recommend using Stroud-Eklund pieces. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to be substituting them from Deimos. But you don't need to substitute from Deimos. You can kind of... Obviously, you just go to the Stroud-Eklund facility. And so what we're going to do is we have the all-in-one berth down at the bottom there. But I'm going to change it. Oh, whoops. I'm going to make this the captain's quarters, because I feel like it's nice to have the captain's quarters. And then we're going to have, this is going to be our all-in-one berth here. And then we're going to have a workshop. But we're going to have the workshop on the bottom and the science lab on the top. So down here where the science lab is, we're going to change this to a workshop, and then the science lab is going to be up on top. So yeah, so we're basically adding science lab up here, workshop down below, and then we change down here for a captain's quarters, and then you've got your all-in-one berth just for your crew to kind of live in. And then we can put this back like so. Obviously, it looks a bit, you know, funky, but that's just the kind of the idea of it. So I'm gonna remove them for now. That's just kind of just because I feel like, as I always say, like it's nice having the workshop on the bottom, just because when you come in immediately, you can get access to all your stuff, which is pretty nice. And then, see what else? So weapon-wise, we're gonna go weapons. I'm gonna go with your standard kind of like OP weapons for this, because I feel like, you know, you're just gonna go with some of these. We're gonna have 4 of these bad boys like so, just for like complete overkill mode. And then we're also going to have, just for like the defensive purposes, we're going to have one of these EMP weapons. This one here. This bad boy here. We're just going to slap this on the top here. That's just going to give us like the ability to protect ourselves with the electron beam. Then if we want to disable the ship and get away, because like I said, this is going to be like a exploration vessel. Now we're going to add a couple more windows, because it'd be nice to have. See, down at the bottom here, we could extend this a little bit, but see, there's not really a lot you can do with this ship. I put these 3015s on just for the extra speed. Actually, hold on. Potentially. Because originally I was like putting an engine down at the bottom here, which if we did that, how big would it be if we did just out of curiosity? See, we could slap 4 of them down here like so. But obviously our jump range goes a bit small, but it's not too bad. Actually, hold on a second. I may be a genius. Maybe. Potentially, probably not. I'm gonna see what happens if we were to put... Okay, that may bother some people. What's the error? Too heavy? What module's below landing bay? Oh, okay. We're gonna slide you in here. All modules must be below the landing bay. What? All modules must be below. Not following. What do you mean? I'm really confused what it's trying to tell me. All module... Oh, must be above. Yeah, it is above. What's going on? Oh, it's the... God damn it, it's the... Well, I see now why the fuel tanks weren't there. Okay, interesting. It's like my idea is not going to work. So I'm going to pause here briefly. I'm just going to fiddle around, see if I can come up with like some designs that I don't spot currently, because I'm just looking at some of the ways, and I'm just going to fiddle with them and see what happens. All right, so this probably looks a little bit drastic. I did some modifications. So first thing I kind of did was I moved the engines back. So originally, I'll just kind of show you real quick. I'll move these pieces. So originally I had if you'll remember, I had these helium-3 tanks. Just gonna move these. And obviously this is just an idea. This kind of rapidly it changes the vehicle quite a lot, or the ship. So originally I had these down here, and I just moved them back. And then the engines, or I kind of flipped put the engines back. Now what I basically did here was, so I added some of these. I'll remove the top layer so you can see it real quick. So I wanted to kind of play in with the shape I was going for. So as you can see there, I initially removed the engines like so, and then I put 3 of these here, these Nova cowlings down like that. And I got 2 of these Nova cowling too, and I just kind of snapped them there just to give it a little bit of structure. And then these snapped to them like so. And then the other one snapped like that. And then we have these like 3 spots here for the engines. And I have one of the engines kind of sitting more further back. And then I use this Nova cowling piece there just to kind of hold it together. Now obviously you could put like a 2x1 here instead of a 1x1 to connect it. But yeah. And then I went with these because I added these Nova braking engines there just because I feel like it kind of breaks up the ship a little bit. And then these are radiators, which I quite like the look of them. So I decided to snap them in here because it being a kind of a long-range kind of exploration vessel, I wanted to have the ability to basically dissipate as much heat as possible. And then we've got more of these radiators here. But I kind of am using them more as solar panels than anything else. So I have them mounted like so. I have 2 here. Oh no, they're too far forward. 1 second, I need to move them back. Basically, I have 2 of them mounted on the fuel tanks. 2 of them mounted on these pieces here. And then I have 1 mounted there just in the middle. And these engines here give us 180 speed, which I feel like it's nice for like, you're not a combat vessel. You're more of a exploration vessel, so it's nice to have them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now obviously you don't have to follow this, because like I was saying, you could make this into a combat vessel. It's more than capable, but I just thought it'd be cool to kind of play with the idea that it's basically an exploration vessel. So like I was saying, at the back here you could remove this 1x1 and you could basically replace it with a Stroud, like a 2x1. I'm using Deimos just for the sake of it. and that would like fit in nicely. It's also got a larger profile, which some people might not like, and you'll notice how the jump range is only 26, so we kind of lost some jump range, but I feel like it's acceptable given that like we've kind of modified it a little bit. Yeah, that's just an idea of the ship build. Let me know what you guys think, because I know, like, most people when they're building ships, they probably don't think of making like exploration vessels, and there is very few exploration vessels in the base game, or at least ones that kind of are, you know, built for that, because you can technically explore any ship. But it's just a decent idea. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this sort of content, and also check out some of my other reviews and my other videos. Bye bye.